All right, the press wants you to believe that Democrats are on a glide path to winning the majority. And to be clear, the GOP has some ground to make up. Right now, in the RCP average and the generic ballot, Democrats are up 7.1%. By comparison, at this time in 2022, the last midterm, which was during Biden, the GOP was up by 2.1. But Republicans ended up netting just 9 seats in the House, and they lost 1 in the Senate. But here's the rub. The current deficit for Republicans is mostly attributable to one issue, and it's temporary: gas prices. The war in Iran will be over soon, and energy costs will come down. And Republicans on the trail will remind voters that when Democrats were in charge, they loved high energy prices and wanted actually to phase out gas-powered cars altogether. Biden's flunkies only cared about gas prices, and so they drained the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, remember that, when they realized that the issue was hurting Biden politically. But now fast forward to today, and this White House can point to numerous domestic policy successes: broader enforcement, unleashing the energy sector, of course, reducing drug prices, no tax on tips and overtime, obviously on immigration, huge wins there. Today, even with the war in Iran, the growth for Q2 was revised upward by the Atlanta Fed GDP Now model from 3.99%, that's in real GDP, to 4.26%. Due to what? Even during the war, an improving Trump economy. But what do the Democrats have to run on, other than, of course, hating Trump? And how do you heal a wounded party when it's afraid to know why it got clobbered in 2024? Even, by the way, when they commissioned a professional autopsy.
Will you ever release that autopsy?
None of us have a time machine. We can't go back and change the past. And so trying to relitigate the 2024 election takes us away from actually our focus on 2026 and 2028. We're not going to go backwards. As much as some folks want to relitigate the 2024 election, I'm not one of them.
Okay, that was embarrassing. And then today came the DNC chair's about face. He says he didn't want to create a distraction with the report, but inadvertently created a bigger one by not releasing it. I'll say. And here's the report in a nutshell. It wasn't their horrid ideas that sunk them. It was basically a PR problem. Page 31. The White House didn't give Kamala more opportunities to shine for 3.5 long years. Right. And remember her word salads in Europe? Then page 40. Right-wing media outlets essentially had them cornered and outsmarted. Page 71, more coulda, shoulda, wouldas with Kamala. They said the White House did not position or prepare the vice president. Had the White House explored and evaluated ways to leverage Kamala Harris earlier in the administration, perhaps it would have improved the president's standing. And it certainly could have helped prepare her to lead the ticket. Okay, let me just tell you, the reason they didn't put Kamala out is because she was terrible. Okay, that's why they didn't put her out on TV more. That's why they didn't want to give her any real issues to handle, except the border, which obviously didn't work out. So no wonder they didn't want to release this autopsy. It was embarrassing. Now, Kamala got smoked, not just because of her annoying cackle, but of course because of the administration. Its policies failed across the board. The economic, the human, the cultural toll was devastating. 25 million illegals, countless terrorists and vicious felons were allowed in, an endless flow of deadly drugs. Of course, the extended pandemic lockdowns, disaster, runaway inflation from all the additional COVID spending, all the other infrastructure spending. Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Now, the Afghanistan pullout, I mean, we could do a whole show just on Biden's failures. But today, one Democrat was more on point.
An autopsy is a medical procedure you do over a corpse. And now it sounds like we need a malpractice attorney because we couldn't even do the autopsy correctly. We know how we got here. It was the Joe Biden issue at the debate. It was the switch over to Kamala without a process. And at the end of the day, Democrats weren't talking enough about affordability in the economy. The fact that we can't even tell people why. We're too afraid to tell them the truth. They know the truth. They saw the debate. They saw what happened, right? And they saw that we got killed in the election. We lost every swing state. They can write whatever document they want, but Democrats know why we lost.
Yeah, well, he almost got there, but it's certainly more on point than the autopsy. And Obama's former right-hand man, he's not stupid.
The country wanted to fire the administration. They were angry about inflation, about the border. Trump seized on those issues, and she was the #2 person in that administration. The Democratic Party can't survive as a party of blue metropolitan islands on an ocean of red.
Okay, their ideas were stupid. That's why they lost. They didn't work. They flooded the country with illegals, terrorists, criminals, pedophiles, all the rest. Okay? But the squad and the hardcore activists, the ones who show up in the streets, the agitators, they haven't learned a thing.
You can use identity politics, quote unquote, as a kitchen table issue, right? When you talk about whether or not people can have access to healthy, safe abortions, that is a kitchen table issue, right? Whether or not a trans kid can get the services they need, that is a kitchen table issue for families.
Yeah, sweetie, stick with that. You go right ahead. Please, do, by all means. Trans is a kitchen table issue. The truth? As much trouble as Republicans seem to be in, and it's temporary, voters still hate congressional Democrats. Look at these numbers. They're 52 points underwater. They're even down 9 among their own voters. And let's face it, everything liberals have run, have they dominated, it's wrecked. Urban life, the public schools, the universities, the entertainment industry, NGOs, of course, the border wrecked that, even some churches ruined by identity politics. Forget even the military. Recruiting cratered, as Trump pointed out yesterday at the Coast Guard Academy. Before Trump was sworn in last year, plummeting. Now, they don't even have enough spaces for the people who want to be in the military. So in the end, the autopsy was so bad for the Democrats, this is what the conclusion stated. Nothing. Oh, it's like their accomplishments. 0. And that's exactly what they seem to have learned. Nothing. And that's the angle. Here
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.